they just gutted my favorite champion. So I
Welcome to the club, baby.
for
Join us
no
Varus mains
for no
in
reason, by
hell.
the way, he has a 52% win rate. Oh my god, he's
Yeah.
broken.
He's
Like,
overpowered. Well, Montrell, I will tell you, Silas is one of the worst. I fucking hate Silas, so I'm sorry. Good Silas players are a pain in the ass to deal with. So I personally think it's justified, but
nah, man.
I'm talking from the perspective of an ADC who can't run away from him. So
Yeah, nah, he's good mid lane, but they're essentially making him a bruiser like how he originally was when he first got released, but he doesn't have the shield when he dashes in anymore. So why are we making him a bruiser again? He used to have a shield. Every time he dashed, he got a shield. Now he doesn't get a shield anymore. So why are we even doing that anymore? You're gonna have to give him back his shield, or he's gonna be fucking useless in lane. Like,
yeah.
or I'm gonna have to just take him top lane, and I'm gonna have to play somebody else mid lane now. I guess I'm just a Z main now in mid lane now. Like, this is some bullshit.
Well, it shouldn't matter because you're actually a jungle main now, all right, Montrell?
Well, if we're gonna be playing with fucking Brad and them, like,
yeah, it took him what 2 weeks to say something to him.
yeah,
He's been playing for a while. Like,
I guess his brother said they want to do flex with us, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm down for that. It's just, you know what? I might just tell Brad, listen, I'm about to go back into the jungle, bro. Like, I can't.
Well, I think in a team of 5, like, yeah, that's fine, dude. Like, you're not gonna have to worry about people doing stupid shit,
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I left the jungle, because I was worried about people doing dumb shit. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I know part of it was that the role wasn't as fun either anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it is. I mean, you haven't really been playing it, right, recently?
I've been playing it off and on. I've just been trying to refamiliarize myself with it again.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with ADC. So, I think that would be the best lineup too for us. Me ADC, Jet support, you jungle, Brad mid, and then his brother top. Like, that feels like the best role for everybody, I would think. But we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely down to do it for sure. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know.
What are you gonna do? I mean, no, like, what did they do to him? Actually, I don't even know what they like. What did they actually do to Silas?
So they nerfed his Q, but they made it to where his Q was already fucking gutted, by the way. So they nerfed his Q to where it's up more. So they lowered the cooldown, but they also lowered the AP ratios of it as well. So it's up more, but it's also weaker. So then they gutted his W heal. So the way his W heal used to be able to heal almost like 40 to 50% of your health, only if you're below a certain threshold, I believe, of your missing health or whatever. So if you're like below 40%, you use your W and it scales off AP, and you get that max, you get that back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So now they nerfed it to where it's 20% now.
Yeah.
And it scales off of 5% off of HP as well. So now I'm gonna have to build HP on top of building AP. So they're essentially trying to make him a bruiser. So like his W is his main, that's his power in his kit, besides his E or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you gut that, you essentially just don't have a fucking champion anymore. Like, I can't survive in lane anymore. Like, I would have to just go against bruisers. I can't go against a mage anymore. I don't know what Riot's hard on for mages is this season, but it's really getting fucking annoying because they have everything. Mages are everything this season, and it's getting on my fucking nerves. Like, if you're losing lane as a mage this season, you officially just fucking suck at the game, because this game is catering to mages. It's annoying as fuck. Like, it's so annoying, man. Like, all you gotta do as a mage, you can build fucking Leandries and what is it called, Black Flame Torch or whatever the fuck it's called, Black Fire Torch, and you win the game. That's it. Or in Wild Eyes, and you win the game. Build on any champion, guarantee you win the game. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
or you can pick a scaling champion like Bygar, and then you know just
Well,
win the game off that.
one
Just
shot
don't
people with
fucking
your
fight.
ultimate.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Just don't
point and
fight
click
anybody.
ultimate. Your point and click ultimate one shot people with it. Yeah.
That has a 45-second
It's
cooldown, by the
very
way.
balanced. Extremely
Yeah.
balanced. Yep.
Or
Most
you can be
definitely.
Lux, who has a 20-second cooldown, and will probably carry the game as a support. So
Oh my
but
god.
mages don't do
We
any
literally
damage.
we
You
literally
know.
saw that. She was like 18 and 3 or something, and she had the most damage on the team as a support, as a fucking support. Like we were like, what the fuck is happening?
We still
Uh,
won that game too, right? Yeah, we still won that
no,
game.
we lost that one.
I thought we won that game.
Nope, that one pissed us off because we should have won.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know with their balancing team. I think they need to fire their balancing team. They need to hire whoever's in charge of their balancing team needs to rethink some things because there's no reason why Akali was such a terror for as long as she was. She was a
Mhm.
terror for about at least two patches, or at least a season, a half a season. And I don't know if you remember, but remember she threw her shuriken at you, which is her E, and then
Yeah,
dash at you. That
yeah,
did more damage than her ultimate
yeah,
at one point.
yeah.
Then you have Brand, who can just run you down. Actually, we literally saw a video of him clearing a wave and killing somebody on accident. Like he didn't even mean to kill that person.
Hey man, they nerfed him. His E has a 1 second longer cooldown.
Whoa, oh my god, that's gonna make
Whoa!
it.
The
Like,
magic damage at all ranks was reduced by 5 as well.
it still has the same AP ratio though.
Oh no! Oh no! 5 damage. Fucking like,
It didn't nerf the range of it. Y'all don't know how impressive he is, especially at bot lane. Y'all don't
bro.
understand how
Oh
impressive
my
he is.
god.
He can just either wave, and you can't even touch your fucking minions, bro. Like he just
No,
easy.
you can't get away from it. You can't dodge it. If you were dumb enough to get hit by one of his other abilities, you're getting stunned. Like and then you're dead. Frankly, at that point, So, yeah, Brand is so fun. What a fun character. It's kind of
Oh,
funny actually because I'm complaining about Varus. I feel like he's actually the counter down there against Brand. Like
probably.
we played one game where he was like Brand was the ADC and I played Varus and we fucking bullied the shit out of him. Like it was because to be fair, like Brand has no movement, right? So
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have any
if
movement.
I'm hitting arrows on him, like you're just ticking him down. He has no regen in his kit. He's all damage. He's all damage. So to be fair, if you can actually hit him with shit, like you can bully him out of lane, but it's just most ADCs just don't have that capability to outrange him or match his range at all.
Match
And
his push potential. Like he could just constantly push.
oh my god, oh yeah, nobody can fucking match that, dude. None of the ADCs can do that. It's
And
fucking
then let's
silly.
talk about our favorite champion. Fucking Bambi, fucking
Oh yeah,
Lilia,
Lilia.
who 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 they nerfed her healing, which wasn't even the issue. The issue was they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna nerf her healing. Why? That's not the issue. That's the
Yeah.
issue is she moves around the fucking map like Sonic. Literally.
Yeah, dude. No, seriously. Okay, so the game we played, the last game we played where she was in, and I think I was playing Varus actually.
55% win rate. I'm sorry, keep going.
Um, and we were, dude. I was trying to focus her every fight I could, and anytime I caught her, she was dead. Like if I hit her with my ult, like I was killing her easily. It's not the problem is not healing. Like the issue is, like you said, she's moving around at Mach 4, while the rest of the fucking players are walking around fucking half a mile an hour. And it's like, it's ridiculous. The character's stupid. Like, you
And
can't
she's
get away from
birdie you,
her.
by the way. She's birdie you the entire time because she builds Leanders in
Yeah.
Blackfire.
Blackfire. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's fucking silly. It's a hit and run champion. And I'm sorry, like the concept of that sounds cool, but it's just in a game where movement is so important and positioning is so important, she completely breaks any semblance of balance around that, when she's in the game. Like
Yeah,
it's so
be-
stupid.
believe it or not, more than Kane and Hecarim. Like Hecarim was that champion, but
Yeah. Oh,
Hecarim,
fine, dude. Hecarim's nothing, man. Like
yeah,
he's fucking nothing compared to her. He's like, I'm happy when somebody picks Hecarim. Like I'm like, oh, thank God they didn't pick Lilia. Jesus, Kane's the same way. I don't really worry about Kane that much because, dude, if you catch him, he's so squishy. He's easy to
Yeah,
kill.
exactly.
But like Lilia, you're lucky to get a single auto off on her before she runs in, does an ability, it runs out. Like you're lucky if you even get a click on her. It's like it's nonsense. I don't know.
I don't understand their balancing, man. Like it just it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just like, but you nerf Silas because he has a 51% win rate. Like he's he's overpowered. Like
No, and
okay,
now no, dude, Varus is down to a 44% win rate with the lethality build. And I think he has a 46% win rate with the on hit build. They've nerfed him into the fucking ground. He was already before the nerfs, his win rate was like 48% at most with his best, and they nerfed the shit out of him. And they're like, oh, perfect. Great. We wanted Varus just kicked into the fucking dirt. Oh, he's perfectly balanced, perfectly fucking balanced. Like now, and it's like, bro, what the like you're like just because pro players figured out that the champion is good and know how to play him, like you're gonna nerf him for everybody else? Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And I played him a few times, and I have like I am making him work, but it's dude, the early game you really feel the power difference
well
early game.
they nerf both my champions. They nerf fucking Kindred Dispatch. She
Yep.
just got fucking nerfed.
Yep.
You know why? Because she counters fucking Lilia, and
Oh my God.
we can't have that. Like, and then next patch, and then next patch, they're fucking it's not out yet, but they're nerfing Silas, and I'm like, so you're just nerfing both my champions. The only champion they buffed that I use is fucking Zed. That's the only champion they buffed. Like,
Yeah.
now I have to find like a third person to I might just go back to playing Echo Zed mid. Like Silas is essentially dead mid lane now. Like you have to take him top lane, and I can't play top lane. I refuse to play that
Really?
cesspool of a lane.
He's in a bad space if that's what you do have to do with him. I don't even know if I've ever seen a Silas go top lane, dude. I've seen Silas supporting bottom more than I've seen him go top lane. So that's bad news. Oh man. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Well, we
So
are getting a new mage champ this patch too, Montrell. So get ready for the
oh,
terror.
I actually do like her, but it's hard for me to practice her because I go into quick play to practice, and everyone keeps playing their fucking mains in quick play. So I don't know. I just went against a fucking Yasuo main in quick play against me as Aurora, and I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to practice the champion. He's all fucking try hard sweating, hitting me with combos. I'm like, all right, cool, you got it, bro.
And he's like, man, you're ass, bro. You're so bad at the game.
In quick play, by the way. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, man. Like, you got it, man.
Oh man, good old league. Well, Montreal, we had some fun events this weekend. Not really fun, but Donald Trump almost got assassinated.
Yeah, I don't know how fun that
We
is.
collectively survived that as a society because I'm gonna be frank. The more I've thought about this, the more I'm thinking.
Oh my
I'm
God.
thinking whatever God is out there that he did not actually get shot. That he's
It
like
would
alive.
have definitely caused a civil war, like
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll go that far, but I will say there definitely would have been violence of some sort. Where that would have gone,
I
no,
think that
who
would have
knows?
happened. I think that would have happened.
Yeah.
I think it would have. You're right. Maybe it wouldn't cause a full out civil war, but I think it would have happened to where. Because I actually don't think the conservative or the Republican nominees actually want him on the ballot. Like, I don't even think they want him in the party, but they're doing it because he has.
They don't have anybody better.
Exactly, but it's just funny hearing like all the like people trying to cope with it, because like it's official now. Like the dude that tried to do it was conservative, but he was just batshit insane. Like he was mentally unstable. So he didn't have any political reasons. They can't find anything on him as far as social media presence. He didn't leave a manifesto or anything. He was literally just like, he just searched up one day where Trump was going to be at, and then he went and did it. Like that's literally it.
Well, yeah, and from what I heard, he was 20, and I guess he was like bullied his whole life and stuff, and like was a loner and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that happened, and also there was one casualty, civilian, which that's horrible.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. This like we haven't had an attempted assassination like this since Reagan. It's like 40 years, so I don't know. Things are hot right now. I don't really know how else to say it, I guess.
Hey man,
Um
all I know is he's probably gonna win the election. So because of that assassination
I
that's
think he was
happening.
already going to be honest with you. I don't think I think it definitely like certainly galvanized the base for sure, but I think he was already going to win the election before it happened. So because I just like unless the Democrats do something drastic, I don't think Biden has the juice right now, man. Like the dude's like senile. That debate was horrible for him, you know.
He just needs to step down. I don't know, man. I don't know what's wrong with that base. Like I don't know how you can sit there and say like, yeah, like he's still good to go. He's our guy. It's like, all right, man, cool.
Yeah. Yep. Well, uh yep. America's in an interesting place. We shall see what happens through November. Really through January, I guess the inauguration of whoever, if Trump actually won, that will be an interesting period as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Players Take. This is episode 281. I'm your host Justin DeSimone, joined as always by my co-host Montrell Rice. This is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And all right, Macho, let's get into what we've been playing. We were already talking about League, so I don't know how much more you have to say there, but I will
I'm
say
done talking
we
about it.
okay, well, I'm going to say a little bit more. We've been playing ranked, me and you. Jet's out of town right now, so there hasn't been a three-man party to play with. So we've been playing some ranked, and I will say it is a little. I like. I've never played ranked in games too much in my life. I've just not been into it, like the climb.
Yeah.
This is really like Apex and this game are really the first two games that I ever really tried playing ranked in to any significant degree. And man, it's just so interesting. This wasn't the case in Apex. I felt like ranked didn't feel really any different than norms most of the time. Actually, frankly, it felt better sometimes to play
Yeah, the
ranked
quality of games in rank were better in Apex
in
than it were
Apex,
in
which is
norms.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But in League, it's like a complete shift the way people play in
Yeah.
League. It's like in norms it it feels like everybody's just fucking around, not like
Mhm.
in comparison of the two. Because man, in ranked, I'm just not used to people being like so on point, like so coordinated. Where they like, dude, if you step like a centimeter out of position in lane, like they are fucking jumping you. They're like on top of your fucking ass. So it's like, I don't know, it's interesting. I'm getting used to it. We're starting to kind of get a feel for it, but yeah, that's just been an interesting experience with it. Because yeah, I don't remember any other game I played where the difference was that stark. But I guess I'll say in Dota, the times I did play ranked in Dota, I was that noticeable. It was like people played like it was a pro game in Dota, versus in norms. There, it would be like just kind of like do whatever the fuck you want. Like, people wouldn't even pick supports. Like, it'd just be these weird fucking broken ass team comps and stuff. So I guess there was a difference there too. I just didn't play a whole lot of ranked in Dota though, frankly. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a fun experience though. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I don't, like I said, I still think the season's in a decent spot. I do feel like they're starting to deteriorate it though. There's certain characters they're just not addressing, like you said with Lilia and stuff, and it's like, and then the characters we play that aren't even overpowered are getting fucking destroyed, ripped apart. Like, I don't even
They're
know why
like
they thought Silas was a problem, dude, because like
because
I don't even see him. Nobody plays him. Nobody's
he's
playing him.
because he has a 52% win rate, and like you said, no one plays him. I guarantee you, if I look in like the summer splits that's probably going on right now,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, like he's probably probably one or two games he popped off, and they're like, Riot was like, "Oh, you can't have this shit."
Well,
Nerf his ass.
isn't he like the perfect anti mage in lane too? Isn't that
Yeah,
kind of his
man.
role? Yeah.
Yeah.
So to your point, they don't want they're protecting mages, bro. They don't for some reason mages are their little fucking pet toy
And,
this
and-
patch
and
this
you know
season.
why? I think it is because mages have been complaining about the meta for like three or four seasons now. Where I think they've always been in a good spot. Mages, in my opinion. Well, you know what? I take that back. In 2021, when we first started playing, assassins were tearing up the meta. I will agree with that. Assassins were so bad that meta. It was so much damage before they had to do a durability patch. They were fucking blowing people up. Um, and then it was the tanks.
Yeah.
But I think this is the age of the mages now. Like it's always the age of the mages, in my opinion. Like I think a mage is always good in League of Legends. There hasn't really been a patch where they're just bad. Um, in
Yeah,
my
because I
opinion.
mean, dude, like I feel like AP is more prevalent than AD is, on
That is
items.
okay. It's not just me then. That's how I feel. But I think people will say otherwise.
Yeah, and magic resistance is generally speaking kind of harder to come by
Yeah.
than armor is. So I've always felt like mages like I just think the burst potential of most mages is completely outsized compared to other roles. Like we were joking about earlier with Vigar, one shotting people with his ultimate. That's not really a joke. Like that's a real thing that happens in games. And it's completely absurd. Like it shouldn't happen that way. Unless you have like a 5 level lead and you're literally 2 items up on people, that's the only situation where I see that it should happen. But if you're the same level as they are and like have the same amount of farm and everything, like there's no reason that should happen. Like that's completely broken to me. So I don't know. I mean, whatever. Vigar's always been that way ever since the game fucking first came out. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean he's always been like that. Not Nasus has always been like that. Um, but I don't know. It was just something about Lilia that really gets under my fucking skin. I just think the champion is way
yeah,
the combination of the items they released and her kit is just the nerf that they did to her is not going to make her win rate go down. They know if they need the nerf, they just don't want to do it. So
yeah,
it is
yeah.
what it is.
Yep, fair enough. Outside of League, I did actually. This was kind of random, but I did. I don't know. I was kind of like maybe a little tired of League the other day, and I just decided to try Team Fight Tactics in there, and I played 2 games. And it was fun, dude. It's a fun little game. It's definitely very interesting. Like you kind of just you have to like buy characters, and then like it's an auto battler, so the game battles for you, but you have like a formation that you can put your characters in that you buy. So you put your tanks in the front, you put your kind of melee damage dealers behind them, and then you put your range characters in the back. But I'm sure there's more advanced formation stuff going on in higher levels of game, but that's kind of the basic gist. But I did end up winning both games that I played. Like I made first place in both. And DJ told me that the winning in TFT is actually making top 4 out of 8. There's 8 players in the game.
Okay.
So I did not know that, but the it was kind of interesting. I was just trying to figure out the game and like figure out the strategies and just the basics of how things worked in it. And the thing I was trying to do, and it ended up working out pretty well, was really just focus on a few characters and really try to get them to rank 3, like the 3-star rank, the gold rank in the game. And that seemed to have worked because when I won both games, I was the only person. Most people, I had like 2 or 3 like 3-star characters in my group, and most other players in the game only had like really only had one, maybe one. Some didn't even have one. So that seemed to be pretty effective because they get a pretty big basic stat boost for each rank you get them up. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. The item stuff is interesting in it. You combine 2 items together and then that makes an item basically, but there's obviously different combinations of the 2 items you can do. and seeing what works on what character. Those are the kind of things that like I need to kind of learn next. There's also these like roles that the characters have or traits that they have. And if you have a certain number of characters with the same trait, you'll get like a bonus with those characters and stuff. So that's kind of another aspect of the game is team building. Like how do you build your team out? Like are you supposed to be trying to focus mostly on getting all those characters with the same attributes? I mean, I assume that's a good idea probably ultimately, but you also want characters that kind of synergize with each other in some way, I'm sure as well. So I don't know. It was fun. Montrell, have you ever checked out TFT or no?
Yeah, I played it like 3 or 4 times before.
Okay, so you know the
Yeah.
basic idea of the game, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, it'd be fun to play with you guys. Because yeah, it's like an 8-player free for all, which is cool. I actually really like that format. I always love games that do like the free for all style rather than like teams fighting each other.
Hmm.
Because you are not relying on anyone else. You know, it's just you, baby. You know, and that's kind of my favorite format in a competitive setting is that free for all because it really tests your skill level. And I always enjoy that.
Yeah, I think that's my main problem with Summoner's Rift or the original version of League. Like me and you actually played sports before, and I feel like a lot of players uh don't play sports, and I don't know. It's just you try not to blame your teammates. They always say that and
Hmm.
everything like that, but then at the same time they always say your teammates are stupid, like in guides and stuff like that and everything like that nature. So
Yeah.
it's just it's a very confusing thing. It hasn't really been bad. I've been able to climb since I've been playing League. I've only been playing League for about, believe it or not, for about 6 years. Um, so I've been able to climb. But the problem is this season is particularly bad because I don't know. I don't know if it's the quality of the players have gotten bad or the matchmaking or whatever. Because like you said, the game itself is in a good spot. The balance is in a good spot. Yeah, I'm bitching about Silas and Kindred and everything like that. But for the vast majority of the time, we can persevere past that. It's just the players though, like they are unhinged this season, and I have no idea what the fuck it is, man.
Hmm.
Like I don't
Dude,
know.
we had somebody tilt after one death in one of our ranked games. Like they were literally like, please start inting. Like they were asking one of the other players to int. It was insane, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is going
even
on here, man?
even in our norms game, we actually won, but we had to go 4v5 for like the
Oh
later
yeah.
half of the game
Yep. Yep.
for no reason because I think because we didn't go to dragon when he wanted us to, and then he just quit the game, and then we end up getting that dragon and then winning the game.
Yep.
So
No,
I,
the game went on for another 10, 15
yeah,
minutes after he left too.
yeah,
Like it wasn't like we immediately won after that. Like no, we had to fight the enemy team multiple times and like there were plenty of moments where we should have lost probably, like or we could have lost. And yeah, no, it's hilarious, but yeah, I don't know what happened with that guy cuz it was funny. That was due to the Karthus, right? The
yeah. The
Karthus jungle.
Carthage, yeah,
And he like dude, he wasn't even taking dragon and he was like mad at us, you know, for that one moment where we didn't take it. And it's like, bro, you haven't even been taking it all game and now you want to take it? Like what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, why are you getting mad at us? Like that game was silly. That was a silly one, but I don't know. Like you said, they're fucking unhinged, dude. Like they're completely like everybody. I don't know. We talk about main character syndrome a lot with League, and it's just really annoying because it's like we're playing the game like trying to play as a team, and I just don't think it works. Unfortunately, I don't think we can play that way. Like I kind of think
yeah.
we need to be a little selfish. You know,
Yeah, I think
it's
we have to
off.
just pick our best and overpowered characters, no matter the
Yep.
team comp, and then just play because when we were playing like solo queue and stuff like that or duo queue, because yeah, like you said, like people really just they genuinely do. I really wish, and I'm not doing it because of like oh you're trying to be like a participation trophy type person. It's like I really wish they'll get rid of the kill death ratio shit. I see why Overwatch got rid
Yeah.
of it is because it's a toxic mentality. Like you can't do anything because people are so worried about their kill death ratio. You're not worried about winning. Like I would sacrifice myself in the game like 20 times. I mean, I've done it before. I've literally just ran it down, not on purpose, but I just kept pushing the lane. I died like 19, 20 times, but we still won because it was open up the other side of the map. So it's
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
um, but
No,
yeah, I
I don't even know what showing it really does either.
yeah,
Because I mean, I'll admit I look at it from time to time.
I do
I'm
too. Yeah,
I'm not oblivious to it. It's just a natural thing you do. So, but it's like, does it really need to be shown before the end of the game? Like, not really. I don't really know what that gives you, what benefit that really gives you.
yeah.
Um,
I think it feeds into a toxic mentality. People are more worried about kills. Like I actually just started watching this jungler. He used to be a pro in the league. He just started his channel, and he was actually talking to a master player. And he was teaching him. He was like the master player paid him for like live coaching while he's jungling,
yeah,
and the master player is arguing with him, saying like, "Well, this is how you climb. You get kills." He's like, "No, bro, that's old League of Legends. New League of Legends is about farming and objectives. That's the
yeah,
way you play the game now. Like that's how you get ahead and that's how you win. Yeah, some kills will get you ahead, but farming and objectives, mainly objectives, is your key thing. That's how you
right,
win games."
right.
And the dude was just arguing like, "Well, Tarzan, he climbed to rank one jungler, getting all the kills." And he's like, "Yeah, bro, that was like season 12 or season 11. This is season 14. This is a
Yeah.
new season." And it's like, yeah, I don't think people even took me a while to understand that because I would go crazy as far as killing people, but like I'm not taking objectives, I'm not pushing lanes. My macro is
Well, dude,
terrible.
you get gold. Like people. I think people like seeing that big burst, that 300 show up when you kill
Yeah,
somebody, because it feels like a lot of gold. But like that's like what,
it's like three
two
waves.
waves, three waves.
Yeah,
Like
2 or 3
in the
waves.
time you're chasing that kill, you could have been farming.
Yeah,
And you're also getting more experience by killing those waves as well. So you're getting higher level. And also when you kill towers, you get gold also. So if you push the objectives, you kill waves, you're focusing on that, you're probably gonna make more gold over time than you would chasing kills. Like that's really always been true. I don't know what changes they've made recently in terms of kill, like how much gold kills give you and all that stuff, but that's true in Dota. That's been true in League the whole time. It's just, I'm sure in certain metas it's more, one's more effective than the other at certain times, but that's always been my philosophy. It's safer to be in lane farming than it is to go chasing kills.
yeah,
Yeah, if you
and
get 3 kills in a row, yeah, that's going to be a huge burst of gold for you and everything, and that's going to accelerate your power spikes. But you're taking a risk doing that, though, because it could just be the opposite. You could die, and the enemy team is the one who gets the spike. So
yeah, and I watch just like you said. For example, I watched a couple of his videos, and he's like, "I'm going to purposely like he was playing in a silver game or in a bronze game, and legitimately, Justin, all the shit that was happening to him was happening to me. And he was like, I know. He's like, this is going to happen. He's like, but I'm going to show you how to do this. And all he did was farm. He played off his power spikes of his items, and then he won the game off that. But his
yeah,
jump, his bot lane was like 0 and 8, bro. His mid
yeah,
laner was his top laner was constantly pinging him 1 and 5. Where's your jungler at? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, I'm not going to gank right now. I'm focused on farming. If I should gank, like chasing kills right now doesn't really help the team, And I was just like,
right,
that damn, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean, you can apply that philosophy to the lanes as well. Like, and that's what I was trying to tell Jet when he's playing mid lane. I noticed when he's playing mid lane, the enemy laners get really mad, especially when he picks Morgana mid lane because he does nothing but farm. He may go for a kill, but he does nothing but farm.
hmm,
And um, even our junglers don't understand what he's trying to do. Like they don't understand that he's freezing the wave so he can just farm up and get powerful for late game. Like they don't understand that. And they try to gank his lane and they break the freeze and everything like that. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, Jet, this is low elo, man. Like they don't understand the concepts of like farming and everything like that. Like
yeah,
it, even like when we're playing, like I try to freeze the wave or I try not to push the wave when with you because I'm like, yeah, we just probably just gotta freeze it right here. And because like when melee supports, um Like you want to freeze the wave under your tower, so that way, if you do have an opportunity to jump in on them, they have to run a long way back to their
Right.
base or
And if
whatever.
you have to retreat, it's not far. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then obviously if you're playing a poke, you kind of want to poke or freeze the wave in the middle. You don't want to poke up too far. But like yeah, low elo, they just constantly, and it seems like they get rewarded for it because just the way low elo is super volatile. Like
Well, the junglers come and gank us and dive us under tower, bro. It's like I don't know what we're supposed to do sometimes, you know? It's like
well, that's
because
what that's the
I don't
the
know.
part where the other jungler is supposed to take advantage of that, clear their top side, clear their bot side, clear some other parts of the map, and really set them apart for doing that dive. And then their mid laner, when their mid laner comes down there, our mid laner is supposed to do the same thing. He's supposed to push towers, punish them for doing that, and
Right.
then he'll be more powerful when they come back to lane or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. For dives, I think I just, especially if I'm playing down there with you, I just got to ward our part of the jungle and everything like that.
I mean, we do. So we do a lot. I feel like we
Yeah, we
ward
do.
I feel like we ward a lot. Like I
We
don't
do. We actually do ward a lot.
like dude, I've been looking at ward scores at the end of the game and I'm usually second behind you like lately in the rank games. And most of the rest of the team is not warding that much, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, dude. You can't account for everyone on your team. You know, if you're
Yeah,
not in a
exactly.
5 stack, it is what it is. Like you're gonna be dealing with randos, and unfortunately, some of those people are just not as good. They're just not as good as other people. You know, it's like I'm not saying we're like savants or anything like that, but we're like trying to play the game the way it's intended to be played. We're not like thirsty kill seekers. You know.
It just doesn't work in low elo, man. You have to be able to kill. The game kind of nurtures that
Yeah.
mentality in low elo.
Well, no, and I do play that way a little bit more. Like when I'm the 80, I mean I'm usually playing ADC, so I have no qualms taking every single kill. I don't care. Like
Mhm.
I don't even hesitate anymore. Like I'm if there's a last hit and I have contributed nothing to the fight, I'm just taking the kill. I don't care. Like it's like I've done it a few times. I don't even feel bad about it, and unless we're playing with our group, like I'll pull that back, but when we're playing with randos, I don't give a shit, man. Like um because usually accelerating my power spike as the ADC accelerates our ability to win, generally speaking, or it should most games. So I don't know. It's like I don't want to account for other people being able to execute with that gold advantage, because that's another thing people don't think about is gold advantage is important, but if you can't execute like in team fights later in the game with that gold advantage, you're gonna give it away in no time at all, so and then it doesn't matter anymore. Like the game's back on an even playing field, so it's I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't think most players who play League think too deeply about the game, though. To be frank,
Yeah.
I think they just click and they want to get kills, and that's what they're focused on. you know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Um. So yeah, I've been playing TFT2 a little bit. That's been fun. And then yeah, V Rising is I'm still playing that. So I kind of have hit a wall with V Rising a little bit. Um. This game is interesting in the way the progression is structured because I have found so there seems to be there's like 3 tiers of kind of level ranges of gear basically. Like it's like levels 1 through 30 and then 30 through 60ish and then I think it's 60 through 90 are like the level ranges for the gear. So there's like tiers basically. And that tier 1 of gear like levels 1 through 30 is pretty easy to get through, but I have found the second tier to have a couple spots where it is really difficult to progress, where the game gates your ability to get more, to upgrade your equipment more behind fighting bosses. And you have to fight those bosses kind of like pretty much on level or under level, a little bit under leveled, in order to fight those bosses. And they're not they're getting more difficult. Like the fights are starting to get more difficult. The bosses are doing more damage. They have more shit going on. There's more AoEs you have to dodge. A lot of them are really there's some that are really fucking annoying where they path out in the open world. but they path into other patrols, like random enemy patrols. And some of those patrols, dude, they'll have 4, 5, 6 enemies in them, and you're in the middle of fighting a boss, basically. And it's just like so many. I have had so many attempts where I get fucked up by that shit, and I feel like I have to clear a metric shit ton of enemies before I even try to fight the boss sometimes, because like if you hit those patrols, you're probably fucked most of the time, and it's just so irritating. um so like I'm the kind of blocking moments I've hit is one of them was level 47, where there was a specific boss I had to kill in order to unlock the ability to upgrade my amulet further. And until I did that, I couldn't level up anymore. And that one wasn't too difficult to get through, but there were a bunch of other bosses around that level range that I really was struggling with. So I went and specifically fought that boss, leveled up a bit, and then that kind of helped me take care of the rest of them. But now I'm at level 59, I think, and this is kind of where the next blocker is. Is there's a boss at level 58 that you have to kill, and he is pretty difficult. He's in the middle of this fairly uh big fortress of NPCs, and you have to kind of clear up to him. And he's in a room pretty much by himself, but he's a tough boss. He's very aggressive and constantly just like coming at you. Like he doesn't really let up. And you know, he's level 58, I think. And now that I'm 59, I actually haven't tried him since I was like 56, 57. So I need to go try him again.
Mhm.
But he gates the next tier of gear basically. When you kill him, you get the crafting station that allows you to start crafting tier 3 gear in the game, and that'll get me into the 60s and beyond at that point. And that's been the kind of the main blocker I'm having right now, is that I can't get back past this boss for the fucking life of me. And the problem I'm having is that um I need to get more recipes of gear basically, because there are these um like research tables you get, and you get one for the tier 1 gear, and you get one for tier 2, and you get one for tier 3. And the tier 2 one is huge. It has like a fuck ton of gear you can get on it, but it also has non-gear things. It has like decorations, it has like cosmetic stuff for your castle and things like that. So you get these booklets that drop, and it'll unlock the recipes for those things. But there's so many of them that I am struggling to get the weapons that I use right now, and it's totally randomized what you get. So I'm not having a lot of luck getting the weapons that I actually use. So I'm having to use weapons that I'm not as familiar with or don't really fit the boss I'm fighting necessarily. And without using those, I'm having to like use weapons that are 3 levels lower, which lowers your level, which means you take more damage from the enemy, you do less damage to that boss. You know, if you're because that's another thing with this game. Your character's level, I think, matters a lot. It seems to, like, if you're a higher level than the enemy, you will do more damage to them, and you also take less damage from them. But the reverse is true as well. If you're lower level than them, you'll take more damage from them, and you'll do less to them as well. So that's kind of a big component of the game, is your actual character level is one of the more important stats in the game. So losing those 3 levels is really significant for me against this boss who's level 58, because that pushes me down to level 56. So I'm fighting him under leveled. Um, and that's kind of the main problem. I'm trying to get the primary weapon that I use that works well against him, which is right now I feel like the dual wield axes is the one I kind of am working best with against him. And I'm just trying to find that recipe, but dude, it's one of 50 or 60 that I'm trying to get, and it's just like, dude, it's so frustrating. I feel like there's a bug in the game too, because this happened to me a lot in tier 2. It was happening in tier 1 as well, but I've only unlocked, I don't know, 10 recipes in tier 2, maybe 15. And it's weird, I continue to get drops of those same recipes over and over and over again. It's completely bizarre, because it should be very low likelihood for that to happen, but it's continued to happen like over and over. And I'm feeling like it might be a bug of some sort, because it's happening a lot. So that's been frustrating. What I decided to do though yesterday. I took a couple days off from the game earlier in the week. I wasn't playing it, but yesterday I got back onto it, and I was playing for a bit, and I decided to start kind of like okay, I was like trying to push through like a level range and get to that next level range to really like take my time and like, consolidate all my materials and equipment and everything, and upgrade my castle some more. And that I was gonna like take some time to do all that once I beat this boss, but I decided to do it early because I'm like not able to beat this boss. So I'm trying to upgrade some stuff that I hadn't upgraded yet. Try to unlock some new gear, get some more recipes and stuff. And I'm gonna try to make another attempt at that boss. So it's the game is still fun. It's weird that there's these walls exist. Having all your progression tied to these bosses, now that's kind of the main progression path of the game. Is It's a little frustrating because there's certain aspects of things like, because the interesting thing is once I kill this boss, I unlock the station required to make tier 3 gear, but I can't build the station until I go fight another boss who's actually 2 levels higher, who's level 60, who lets me make the materials I need to make that station, because I can't make those materials yet. So that boss is like a gate to unlocking those. So it's a little frustrating on that regard too, the way they've kind of I don't know, design the progression in that way. Because I feel like I'm gonna kill this boss, but then I'm gonna have another problem killing that next boss because it's 2 levels higher. I actually tried it once and it kicked the shit out of me. So I'm like, I don't know, dude. I was getting really frustrated with the game because it's just, you know, when you die, you have to go back to a teleporter. You drop everything that you are carrying on you except for your equipment. So you have to go back to your corpse basically to pick everything up, which means if you were in the middle of a boss fight, you have to go back into the boss room, pick it up, and then fight the boss again. It's like, um, so it's a little frustrating in that regard because it's just a lot of running. You're dodging patrols. If it's daytime, you have to stay in the shade. You can't be in the sun too long. Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I still want to keep playing this game. I'm not like dropping it or anything like that, but I will say I'm starting to see, I'm starting to feel like the co-op aspect of this game is a little bit more what they intended the experience to be, honestly.
Mm, okay.
Because these bosses are starting to get really difficult to kill by yourself. And I think part of it is me. I need to like slow down and like take my time a little bit more and stop bashing my head against the wall and like really figure out what builds, like what spell build with what weapon is the right approach to each boss. I need to like take that time a little bit more, which I'm starting to do. But I also think that, you know, some of these bosses are so crazy, the benefit of having another person would be immense. But I've seen videos out there of like no hit, solo runs of a lot of the bosses that I'm doing. So it's clearly there's a way to do it. Like there is a skill element to this that I need to get over that hump, with the game. But so but I'm also scoping out a new castle location right now. I'm trying to figure out where I think I want to find my like final castle spot, and really build that out because where I am now is starting to get a little tight, and I'm feeling like I don't want to end there. Like I don't want to build it up too much because then I'm just gonna have to tear it all down when I move my castle. So I'm kind of like in a holding pattern with the castle right now too. So it's just the game's. I've been in a weird spot with the game for a few days, kind of getting through it. So, but it's still a very fun game. I'm planning on going all the way with it. I want to get to level 90 and beat the last boss and um build up make my vampire castle. So yeah. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week. Montreal, what about you?
I don't even know why I got Z on there. I haven't played Triple Z
Yeah.
in a while, so
Hmm.
I play a little bit more near Automata. Didn't get too far. I don't know. These last couple weeks have been kind of crazy for me. So near is not stressful as a game. As far as other action games, it's actually a calming game, but I don't like playing an action game. I wanted to play a gathering game, but I wanted to have like a purpose playing the gathering game. or base
Mhm.
building game. So that's why I started playing State of Decay 2 because I have regular Xbox Live, which is now Xbox Game Pass, Game Core or Core
Game
version of
Pass
it.
Core, yeah.
Yeah, and it's free on there. So I downloaded it because I intended to buy it for like $10, but I beat State of Decay 1 already a long time ago. And I never played the State of Decay 2. It's a little bit more of the same thing, but on a broader scale. You have a little bit more stuff at your disposal. Your skills can now um they have different trees. So like for instance, if you use your sprint a lot, you get something called cardio or whatever, and then your cardio skill will
Mm.
go up, and then you can upgrade into like backpacking, or you can upgrade to like do more melee moves and stuff of that nature.
Mhm.
If you shoot more with a certain another survivor, their shooting skill will go up, and then you get certain perks with that, so forth and so on, and everything of that nature. Like your sneak skill if you crouch a lot and everything of that nature. Um, so the game is okay. It's not like the best game ever, but it would be fun to play with like other people. I have a base with like 7 survivors right now, and they all have, you have to worry about your. I'm playing on the medium difficulty because so you have like 5 levels of difficulty, and I'm at number 3. Um, and it is pretty a little bit challenging, or is pretty challenging, because not only do you have to worry about like the way you move and everything like that. Obviously, if you shoot, the zombies can hear the sound, and then you can have a flock of zombies coming in that direction. They will keep running into that direction till they hear another sound, or whatever the case may be. And they do randomly spawn on the map and everything. And you also have like these specialized zombies. They're called freaks. So you got one called a screamer, one called a feral zombie. He kind of runs like on all fours like a
Mhm.
fucking wolf or whatever. He's like super fast. He has high regeneration but low health. You have the juggernauts, and then you have these like big gunky exploding ones that explode when you like stab them or something or shoot them. So you actually want to shoot them because if you stab them or melee them, they can explode and then get acid all over you and stuff like that. uh but yeah, even in the base, you can have up to many survivors I think as you want, as long as your base can support it with like beds and stuff of that nature. um so that kind of determines your population size. Not only that, but each day, so each day is 90 minutes in real life. So each day your sources,
Mhm. Mhm.
your food sources and your other sources, your minerals deplete because like they used it for the day or whatever. So you have building materials, you got crafting materials, you got food, you got ammo and everything of that nature. And like a certain amount of those are used every day. So it encourages you to go out and scavenge the buildings surrounding you, uh, to bring back, that to the base or whatever the case may be. You can also trade with other survivors. And depending on your trade relationship with them, they give you deals on certain things. You spend something called influence, not actual cash, but it's something called influence or whatever. That you spend or whatever. And you also use that influence to uh yeah, just buy certain things and trade and everything of that nature. Um
Yeah.
and you can build your base. Obviously, you have several different. You have one main base you can build, and then you can put outposts at certain buildings you checked out already. Like you already scavenged and cleared them out or whatever. You can put outposts there or whatever, and you can make them outpost, and they will actually give you a certain amount of whatever material that they are like marked for. So if you take over a restaurant, you scavenge a restaurant, or whatever, that restaurant may be marked with like a pizza symbol, which is a symbol for food, and they'll give you like maybe two food materials a day or whatever the case may be. So like the objective of the game is just like build your base, have a thriving community, have a little community or whatever, and then survive. I think it's like a month until like the end of the game happens, or not the end of the game, but until you destroy all the plague hearts, which are spawning these zombies in the lands or whatever the case may be. And then you can also, if you once you get done with that map, you have like 3 other maps that you have to go to as well. So I haven't beat State of Decay 2. I remember State of Decay 1 was like your main objective was to survive. And there was a story or whatever as well, but you had to survive as well. And I think you had to complete the story missions in a certain amount of time as well.
So
I don't know if it's
can you complete a map early, like before the 30 days is up? Like,
yeah, yeah. And
okay.
I think 30 days is just an arbitrary number. But the days can keep going on. But the thing is, if you run out of like materials, obviously you scavenge the map, you will want to move to a different map because you've completely scavenged that map or whatever the case may be. I
Mhm.
think materials do spawn. I haven't got further enough yet. But I know they used to respawn in State of Decay 1 for sure. They used to respawn in certain areas or whatever because you can call the radio. Well, in this one, you can call the radio, which is the network, which is something you set up in State of Decay 1. And you can call the network and say, like, hey, you can spend a certain amount of influence, and it has a cooldown. So if I say, hey, I need medical supplies, where can I find some? They'll pick a random building on the map and like, oh, we found some medical supply. We checked the network, and according to the network of survivors that we go through, there are some supplies here slated for medical. So you can go explore that building, but you also spent like maybe 250 influence, and it's like a 10-minute cooldown. So now you gotta wait real life 10 minutes before you can use that again.
Mhm.
Or whatever. So you can also call in supply drops, but if you call in supply drop, I think the supply drop is like an hour or whatever, and it's like a shit ton of influence as well. Um,
Yeah.
so the game's balanced in that way. There isn't any PvP. There's only PvE. So other players can join my game if I want to, if I want them to, and they can, influence the game and stuff like that. They can troll me if they want to, but I can't really kill them per se. If that makes, they can't start a new faction in my game or whatever the case may be. If that makes any sense.
Oh, that'd be cool though. If
Yeah, that would be cool.
they had servers like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, I actually just like the single player aspect of it. There are hostile. You can turn groups of survivors hostile towards you. Like you can like take their shit from them and like because you get like a conversation tree thing or whatever, and you can like hey, can you help me with these materials? And they're like, you can say like yes, I'm going to help you, or no, I'm taking everything, fuck you, or whatever the case may be, and they'll tell you this choice would turn this group of survivors hostile towards you, and they would actually like raid your outpost and stuff like that. I had to actually kill one of my survivors, or not one of my survivors, but some other survivors. I didn't do anything to him. It was like an event or whatever that happened, and it was like, oh, this thief has stolen our stuff, and he actually raided one of my outposts, and I had to go find him and kill him, and I did.
Mhm.
So I think the game's pretty cool. There's also like morale and everything of that nature. So certain characters can have too many negative qualities about themselves as far as personality, and you can actually exile. They can bring the morale of your entire base down, and once the morale of your base goes down, people can start leaving. They may start doing random fucking missions or just making too much noise because they're upset or something like that, and then they can bring their morale. It's like an infection. They can bring them out of the entire base, and then yeah, people start leaving and stuff like that. And you don't really want that because like they're not only your survivors, but they're your workers as well, and they keep the base up overall. And then if you use a particular survivor a lot, they become hero status. They go from recruit, citizen to hero, and then you can make them the leader of their base. And then you have 4 different types of leaders, I think, or 3. You have the builder who specializes in building certain special. They all have their different perks. Builder. It's 4 actually. Builder, I think it's the trader or whatever. Like he's really good
Mhm.
at trading and
Yeah.
recruiting new people and stuff like that. And then you have another leader type, which is the sheriff, who specializes in shooting and like protecting their own people and everything of that nature. And you have the warlord who specializes in, I mean, obviously killing zombies, but they specialize in like fuck
I bet.
everybody else. It's we're gonna go kill shit or whatever. Um, so and they're really hard on punishment, whereas like the sheriff is like kind of hard on punishment, but like they give people chances. Like the warlords are like, no, you're gonna die if you steal from our if you're in my group and then you steal from us, we're gonna
Mhm.
either exile you or kill you. Like that's how the warlords are or whatever. So depending on your play style, uh you can go, you can turn certain people into leaders, and you can make them leader of your community. You can also demote them and then appoint another leader, and then you can keep the perks of that. You can keep one of the perks of the other leader that you demoted, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
So I started out with the builder so far. I think the builder is really cool. I think it's a really good starter leader to start out with. They get your bases up, your defenses up. They can build really high sniper towers to like snipe zombies and stuff like that, and everything of that nature. Also, when you're building stuff inside your base, you have like this is the part I actually don't like. I hope they improve in State of Decay 1. It was like this in State of Decay 2, or I'm sorry, in State of Decay 2, it was like this in State of Decay 1 where they have actual like nodes where you can build. You can't just like build like StarCraft. If there's space there, you can't build there. It's like an actual node. So certain bases will have like maybe you find a base with like your starter base may has 3 nodes you can build on.
Yeah.
And then you find a intermediate base that has like 5 nodes, and then you get like a really big base, a really good base or whatever that has like 10 to 15 nodes or whatever the case may be. But when you move, that also costs influence, and you need a certain amount of people as well when you move to get to start up those bases or whatever the case may be. So you can't just move if you have 5 people in the starter base. You can't just move to the expert base because you have, say it costs like 3,000 influence. You have that, but you only have 5 people, so there's not going to be enough people to maintain that base. You would need like maybe 7 to 10 people or whatever.
Gotcha. I hope they change that. That's definitely not like I like the more free flowing like building where you can just build wherever.
Yeah, I do too. You can also only have a number of outposts, depending on how well you upgraded your base. So you can upgrade. They call it command post, and you can upgrade to like command post level 2, and 3. And I think the highest you can go is level 3 or 4, and you can only have 6 outposts on the map or whatever. So it forces you to be strategic in where outposts you take throughout the map. You can also just abandon the outpost for no. There will be no penalty for abandoning the outpost or whatever. In case say like you have like too many medical outposts, and you're like, I need a food outpost or whatever, so you can abandon one of the medical outposts for a food outpost or whatever. And stuff like that. Also, when you're building stuff as well, it makes a noise, so your base also has a noise level as well. So a lot of things incorporate into that. So you can have barracks, but if your barracks is like an outdoor barracks, then people can sleep out there, but obviously since it's outdoors, is making a lot more noise, and that noise will cause a lot more zombies to come to your base, which means you're actually wasting a lot more ammo because you're shooting up zombies that are coming to your base. Also, people might get injured because there may be an occasional horde or two that come there, and may get injured during the horde or whatever. So it takes into consideration like how many, because you can build like 5 things at one time, but then your noise would be like catastrophic, and you're constantly getting raided by zombies because your noise level is so high. There was one random event that happened they call curveballs, and that's like random events throughout the world or whatever. It was one where my base randomly decided, because their morale was kind of low. It wasn't even on the opposite, like the negative side of morale. It was on the positive side. They're like, "Oh, our morale is low. Let's do a scavenger hunt. It's going to be kind of noisy though." And I'm like, what the and the scavenger hunt lasted for like, no joke, like 2 days, and my base level was like so high. I was so annoyed. I was like, bro. And you can turn the curve balls off because that's like an added feature. It wasn't there on launch. I don't but it was added like over. They're actually still patching this game and adding stuff to it. It's actually insane. They just did another patch like a month ago or something like that. So I don't know. I think the game's really cool. If it's free to check out if you have Xbox Game Pass Core. And then if you don't, it's only $10. It's on PC and Xbox. I think it's a really fun game if you just want to check it out. I don't know. It's a really cool laid back game. It sounds hectic, but I mean, to me, it's just like a laid back game compared to the games I fucking play. So, I don't know. I mean, you kill zombies and shit like that. Also, this weekend, I'm going to download Stardew Valley, and I will be playing that with my wife. So we established like a game day. Sundays are going to be our game day. We're going to game for a couple hours, whatever game that is. And she said, download Stardew Valley to help me in my village. I was like, okay. I'm kind of scared though, because she be going the fuck off on whoever is in her village and shit like that. She's like really into it. It's kind of crazy how into Stardew Valley she is. She's like sometimes up to like 2 o'clock in the morning playing that shit. It's kind of crazy.
I didn't know
So
you could co-op Stardew Valley.
I didn't know that either, but she told me you can. So I
That's
will be
interesting.
doing that.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you playing anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, well, let's move into the news to our lone single news story. It's very boring time in games right now, guys. The Microsoft stuff last week was like a lifeline. There's just not a lot going on at the moment. Summer pretty quiet this year. So our one thing was some leaks from Valve. Their payroll information for like the last 20 years got leaked this past week, and it's just interesting data to see because they're not a big company. They only have, I think, 330 employees or something like that currently. So this was over a period of from like 2003 to 2021. Basically, they had four different verticals that they consider their employees a part of, essentially, and this was kind of the pay rates for them. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want to
Yeah,
go find this data online, you can certainly. But I just want to call out, really kind of see the difference between then and now. So Valve in 2003, which I believe this is the year that they launched Steam, was 2003.
I thought it was 2004. It probably
It
was
might have been
2003.
2004. It was around that time.
Yeah.
So in 2003, their admin department, they had 5 employees and they were paying $454,142 to those 5 employees.
Mhm.
Uh, Fast forward to today, or to 2021, for admin, they have 35 employees. And they're paying those 35 employees $157,999,567. So this this number is weird. If you go look at the chart, you'll see these kind of years where like there's like these humongous fucking jumps in pay scale for certain areas. Admin in particular is kind of the most stark one, where you'll see like 2013 to 2014. So 2013 they were paying 48 million to 20 employees. In 2014 they were paying 90 million to 23 employees. And 2021 is actually another one of those where in 2020 they were paying 39 employees 118 million, and then in 2021 it was 150, basically 158 million to 35 employees. So less employees, but they're paying more money in payroll. I'm gonna guess some of this stuff is wrapped up in like executive bonuses and things like that.
Yeah.
That just kind of fell on these years in particular. That's the only thing that really makes a whole lot of sense. But when you go back to the early part of it, though, kind of makes you wonder, like, were certain people in Valve not categorized under admin? Where they're paying 450,000 for 5 people, basically, it's like 90,000
Yeah, I was gonna say
average.
like this isn't the entire company. This is just like that admin
Well, no,
section.
just the admin section, right? No, no, no.
Okay.
There's three other
Yeah.
categories that are also in this chart that I'm going to go through as well. So games, I'm assuming this is like game developers, people working on Dota and whatever Half Life back in the day and Portal and stuff. So in 2003, the games department was $3.9 million for 57 employees. So that is lower than 100,000 per employee on average. And then go all the way to 2021, 181 employees. They're paying 192 million to those 181 employees, which is interesting. So this is another area where you see some interesting stuff in the chart because starting in 2017, they had more employees, 184, and they were paying 221 million, and then that went down to 216 million in 2018. But they actually had 8 more employees. Then in 2019, it was 236 million for 201 employees. So continuing to grow. They had some initiative going on clearly for something. Whether that came out or not, who knows? And then in 2020, they went way down. It was 199 million in 2020 for 189 employees. So they lost 12. And then in 2021, it was 181 employees for 192 million. So interesting. I mean, you can obviously see the growth in pay that they're paying their people over time. Um, we go from averaging under 100,000 per employee in 2003 to averaging over 1 million per employee in 2021. So, obviously, not everybody at Valve is making $1 million. I
Yeah.
think that should probably be fairly obvious. There are certain people that are probably making a significant amount compared to others, but still, I'm sure in general their employees are paid very, very well. now compared to 2003. So then let's get to Steam. So Steam is one of their other categories, and in 2003 they had 16 employees in the Steam vertical for $1 million. They were paying these people nothing. Like that's almost an average. It's probably an average of like 60,000 maybe per employee, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Versus 2021, 79 employees for $76 million. So Montreal, biggest digital gaming platform on the planet, is being run by 79 employees in 2021. How crazy is that?
I mean, that's how you do it.
Yeah, man, they're running lean. You know, they don't overhire.
That's kind of how my company runs as well. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to say my company's numbers, but they make a good amount of money. And yeah, we just run lean though. Like that's why my department's so small and everything like that. I honestly think that's the way to go for a lot of companies. Obviously, you can't do it for like super huge corporations or whatever, but yeah, I mean, it seems like I really haven't heard of any work scandals from Valve, to be honest with you. So it seems like the employees are,
they treat their people very well.
Yeah, but it seems like the employees are very happy there.
Like they do like company law. They do like company wide trips and stuff. They'll like take everybody on a cruise.
When you have Steam, bro, like all you have to do.
Why not? Why the fuck not?
I'm pretty sure Half-Life is still selling hotcakes. I mean, then they just released fucking Counter-Strike 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. And then Dota's still going strong.
I mean, and then on top of that, all the money that's going to the platform just from the games being bought, like no one can literally touch your platform. You have to do something catastrophic to make even with Unreal's what's it called? What's Unreal's
Epic
Games Store? Even with their split that they have, people are still like, "Nah, I'm good." Like I don't.
Well, the exposure you get on Steam is just. It's kind of unbeatable. It's hard to
beat I think it's a well-made platform, in my opinion.
Steam is excellent, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it is hilarious how superior it is to anything PlayStation and like Nintendo have going on.
PlayStation's fucking platform.
It's
so fucking ass.
It's ass. God. Like it's complete ass cheeks. Like Steam is like, I don't know what they've got going on over there, but yeah, they're UI designers and everything. Like they're top of the line in the industry.
Well,
sure.
You know, I like how it's like, oh, based on games you've been playing, and it's actually games that I would actually like play. I'm like,
yes,
I might actually play that.
It's happened to me plenty of times. I actually go through it on Steam. On PlayStation, I couldn't give a fuck because they're like, oh, we think you might like Madden. Fuck you, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know who I am? Like,
yeah, exactly. When I go on like PlayStation, that's the reason I don't like the PlayStation Store. In particular, I actually think Xbox does a really good job with their store. Not on computer, obviously, but on the actual Xbox, they do a really good job at recommending stuff to me. But PlayStation, man, it's fucking terrible because they would just plaster like the most popular game. And like, hey, yeah, you would have played fucking. I haven't touched a fighting game in years. And they're like, you would play fucking Street Fighter 6. I'm like, bro, I don't even play Street Fighter.
It's because Capcom paid for it. You know, they paid for the slot. But the thing is, you know, when you compare like PlayStation and Valve is a hilarious comparison because like even on PlayStation, dude, there's barely even the ability to review games on PlayStation. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Valve has probably the most robust review system. And probably the one that's the most trustworthy in the entire industry. Like you have to have owned the game. You have to own the game to review it. You can't review games without owning it on Steam. And it shows how many hours you've played of the game as well under your review. So like if you're like, this game's dog shit and you've played it for 500 hours, you know, that might not add up. You know, or maybe it lends credence to the person's point that they're trying to make, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
They're an expert on it, you know, but you don't know that on other platforms. Like on PlayStation, it's just a rating. Like you literally just say, oh, this game's 3.5 stars and that's it, you know? Whereas on Steam, it's just thumbs up or thumbs down, basically.
Well, the other thing I like is their review or their return policy. I think 2 hours is actually like, I think it should be like 5 hours, but I think 2 hours is still sufficient enough to understand, like, maybe I'm not going to like this game, and then you return it. I think that's really cool. Whereas with PlayStation, I remember you had an incident like 2 years ago where it was a fucking arm and a leg to return the fucking game.
Dude, it was a pre-order of Division 2. Oh, yeah. Because we were going to play it on PC, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
And I had pre-ordered it on on
PlayStation.
PlayStation, and they would not return the pre-order. They wouldn't cancel it. They refused to cancel it, and I had to play on I had to play on PS5 or PS4 at the time. So no, I mean Steam's a great platform. I just think it's very readable. It's very well laid out. There's a lot of good information in there. It's just a lot of good functionality. Also, I mean, every single game has a community. Also, so there's like basically a forum built into Steam for every single game, where you can go talk to people. There are guides. There's also the Steam Workshop for every game as well, where people will make mods, and they'll post mods. They'll also post guides there as well. You'll see all sorts of shit. Like, PlayStation and Nintendo don't have any of this shit. I don't know how deep it is on Xbox.
It's not that
But
deep. It's not
yeah,
that deep.
but
Well,
you know,
they do have reviews. I don't know if you have to have the game to review it, but they do have reviews. I actually do sometimes look at the reviews. I think like I said, their recommendation thing is really good. Their sales store when they have sales on certain games is really good.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, besides that, I mean,
You can't.
Xbox is second in my opinion. Is second to Steam, but like
Yeah.
I want to make sure y'all know that
Far.
it's a huge gap between between
Yeah.
Steam and Xbox.
Yeah. But dude, on PlayStation, you can't even gift games on PlayStation Network. Like if you want to buy a
you
gift
can
for
do that
somebody,
on PlayStation. I think you can do it on Nintendo now.
you
I
can't
think
do it
you
on
can.
PlayStation. You can do, yeah, you might be able to on Nintendo.
I think you can. Yeah,
But
I'm
that's a
not sure
joke.
yet,
Like, oh, is that like a recent thing? Like, what the fuck, dude? We've had online stores for fucking over 15 years. What the fuck are we doing?
bro.
You know?
PlayStation is always last to everything.
They're terrible, dude. They're UI engineers, and they're just like basic functional like PSN engineers are miserable. Like they're
Bro,
so
why
bad,
can't we
dude.
not have custom back themes for our PlayStation 5 yet?
I don't. They don't want to do it. They don't want to deal
Why?
with it. I don't know. They don't want to deal with it. Can't
It's
even. You can't. You can change your name, but it might fuck your account up. That's my favorite. That's my favorite one. I always love that. I always love that announcement. That shit was
it
hilarious.
just has to be spaghetti code at this point, bro. It has to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it definitely is, man. Um. Yeah. No. They're. So yeah. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
So the last category for Valve is they actually added a hardware vertical in 2011. So this was interesting. And in 2011 they had 7 employees in this group, and they were paying 2.2 million for those 7 employees. And then by 2021 they're up to 41 employees at 17 million. So it's not a huge group certainly, but they seem to have a dedicated hardware contingent, obviously with Steam Deck. That will probably continue going forward, I would assume. But I don't know. Just thought these numbers were interesting. They're worth looking at if you want to go take a look at them. You'll see kind of ebbs and flows where hardware, for instance, is another one. Like 2020, they had 31 employees at 12 million, and that went up in 2021. But that was actually 2021 is actually down from like 2018 and 2019. In terms of numbers. So there's kind of an ebb and flow. You can kind of see the ebb and flow of the business a little bit with some of these payroll numbers. So just kind of an interesting data to look at. So, Montreal, anything else you want to say on this one?
Yeah, no, that's it.
All right. Well, let's move on. We're done with news. I did want to do guess the meta score. It's been a minute since we did this. There really haven't been a lot of games coming out this last couple months to do this for, but we're getting close to August, and we got a couple bigger ones coming out. Black Myth, Wukong, and Star Wars Outlaws. So I want you to go first with Black Myth, Wukong. What do you think? What score do you think this game is going to get?
I'm thinking of 87.
87. Okay.
Yeah.
You're thinking it's going to be very high.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of stuff that I've been reading about it. It's not super open world. It's like that open linear style.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like akin to, because I don't consider Sekiro open world like that either. Almost akin to Sekiro.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of, I've been watching the gameplay, and there's a lot of different styles and stuff that kind of sets itself apart from the Souls like genre that seems to be trying to emulate a little bit, or like not emulate, but like the atmosphere of it. I don't know. I think it's gonna be really surprising. I think it's gonna surprise me. I'm actually gonna pick it up first day. I think I'm gonna try it first day. So
Okay. I'm gonna go 78 on this one.
Okay, that's a decent score.
I think the game. I don't know. Personally, I think the game looks great, but I don't know how reviewers are gonna. Making a game
Mm,
in this genre is very risky. I feel like because everyone's gonna compare you to FromSoft. You know,
yeah, that's
right
true.
now, and I just feel like that glow is extremely bright at the moment, especially with Shadow of the Erd Tree just recently coming out. So I don't know. I feel like they're gonna suffer from that, even if the game is really good.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And then Star Wars Outlaws. I'm gonna guess first on this one. Um, I'm gonna go. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna go 82. I think on this one.
I'm giving it a 75.
75. Yeah, that's fair. I could see this being low. Yeah, no, I might have gone. I probably went too high.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I think I actually went too high. I want to change mine to 70.
70.
Yeah.
Shit.
It may get like a 71, but I don't think it's gonna go too high.
You want
I
to go
actually,
71? All right.
yeah,
I'm gonna go. I don't know. I usually like to make us hold to our first prediction, but if we both switch, then that's
yeah, we
okay.
switched. So you get a score B too.
Um, I'm gonna say 77.
77.
I'm not gonna
All
go too
right.
low. I'm not gonna go too much lower, but
I
um,
actually think it's gonna be like a 69, but I'm sticking with my 71. I think it's
okay,
gonna be in the high 60s though, for sure.
fair enough. We'll see. Do you plan on playing either of these
Mm,
games?
Not Outlaws. Outlaws is open world. I don't have, I just don't have a bit of capacity for an open world game right now. So
Yeah, but Black Myth Wukong for sure.
yeah, I'm definitely playing that.
I think I'm in the same boat. Black Myth Wukong. I'm kind of chomping at the bit for another one of these kind of games after Stellar Blade. And then yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. You know, it's like I think for years, I think I was in the boat where I was like,
Yeah, we need it, man. We need this.
I want a Star Wars game where there's no Jedi and they're giving it to us. You know, it feels like with this game. I'm sure there's gonna be a Jedi somewhere in the fucking game, but
You know it. You know
they
it.
can't get away from it, dude. Like they just cannot fucking
It's like a
resist it.
fucking disease.
Yeah, it is. It is a disease. It is a disease. I mean, Star Wars in general is basically a disease at this point. But
That's true.
I would say like I just don't care anymore. I'm so Star Wars out at this point. I don't give a shit, bro. Like I don't
Yeah,
care.
I 100% agree with you. I have never been so anti Star Wars in my entire life. I think
Yep.
it's the honestly, and it's not Star Wars Outlaws. I actually think Star Wars Outlaws, if it had came out maybe 5 years ago, or
Right.
maybe at the beginning of
Before the
this,
Rise of Skywalker had come
yes,
out,
yeah, I
and I
actually
would
think,
probably have played it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think I would have gave it a chance, regardless of who was making it or whatever.
Yeah.
But Rise of Skywalker, and then all the spin-offs, and then all the series, and then all the misses, and all the politically charged stuff that's coming from both sides, um, and from the actual corporation itself of
Disney
Disney.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much for me. I mean, this is one of the other reasons I've got off Twitter. You know, I have like I have my main account locked down. I have another sub account that I have, and that account is only used for so the algorithm won't fuck it up. It's only used for game news and stuff like that. So I scroll it when I'm about to do the podcast, and I look for like game news and stuff like that. But obviously, I haven't been. I don't even jump on that anyway. But anyway, me being exposed to like I usually just I was not a closeted Star Wars fan, but you know how you're a fan of something to yourself, you really don't interact with the community like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of was with Star Wars. Like I would talk to people in real life about it when we talk about it, and we're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." But like I never really went online for it or went to forums to talk about it with people or anything like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like the way the algorithm of Twitter worked and everything like that, I was exposed to Star Wars fans, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying the fans ruined the franchise for me, but holy fuck, there are a lot of dumbass fans. Like they just never watched Star Wars or played
Yeah.
Star Wars or something like that, or read it in any capacity. And yeah, it kind of ruined. like I said, with the way how politically charged it is, I don't even think to any of its own doing. I just think people it was trying something different, and the vitriol they got for trying stuff differently, not as far as like story wise, but like just having a different kind of character.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I just didn't like it, and I don't know. I just think the franchise kind of just I just grew out of it. I just don't think it's a really good franchise anymore. And it is a combination of things. I mean, I can be weak willed. You can call me weak minded or weak willed or whatever. I don't. I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say I don't like the racism of the Star Wars fans. I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like the baiting in uh what's the word I'm looking for? The virtue signaling of the creators of Star
Yeah.
Wars, certain
Yeah.
Star Wars fans.
Baiting is appropriate. I think that's what
Yeah,
they're doing, frankly.
yeah, the baiting and virtue signaling of the creators, and then I don't like how Disney has milked the franchise into oblivion. I also don't like how Disney has handled the main three movies. I think it was grossly irresponsible, and those four things have made me not have made me fall out of love with Star Wars. And frankly, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's just a combination of things, and it's not like I'm all sizing there. I'm trying to be the person on the fence. Like it's literally all those things. Like I was on one side, and then I saw the other side, and I was on the other side, and I saw the other side, and then
Yeah.
the corporation that's handling the IP, they just don't know what the fuck to do with it. And I just you compare that to like Star Trek, in my opinion, who may have some politically charged virtue signaling type shit, but I still think overall the franchise is in a really good spot. I don't think it's been ruined by anything or anything of that nature. So, I mean, I know people will disagree with that, but yeah, that's how I feel at the moment. So,
Yeah. I mostly agree with what you said about Star Wars. I think the way the way Disney handled and approached the sequel trilogy, like they should be the executives at Disney should be fucking completely
fired.
embarrassed.
They should be.
Embarrassed, dude. It is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen released in my life, and I don't think it'll ever be topped. Like the way the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker were handled, specifically those
Oh
two
my god.
movies,
Oh my
is one of
god.
the most embarrassing outputs for a company with Disney's means and size and just whatever you want to say. Like they're horrible films. Like Last Jedi, I have defended it certain times, in terms of there are certain aspects of that movie that I do like.
Mhm.
But the second half of the movie is so cowardly in the way that it backs
Yeah,
out of anything that it sets up.
exactly. That's exactly my issue with the whole movie. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
keep going.
And then Rise of Skywalker is even more cowardly in the way that it retcons every single thing that happened in that fucking movie. It's just like the Rise of Skywalker is a fucking abomination, dude. Like
It is. I
it
don't
is a
see how people
pure.
can look at you straight in the face and say The Last Jedi is worse than Rise of Skywalker. Rise of
I can't
Skywalker.
either, dude.
The,
I know
the,
Last Jedi is bad. It is bad. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
the
yeah.
Rise of Skywalker is it's atrocious.
It's
horrible.
one of those movies. The more you watch it, the worse it gets.
It's horrible.
Like,
it's so bad.
Somehow Palpatine has returned. What do you mean somehow?
What do you mean somehow? We're not going to explain that at all. Somehow.
No, if you guys think we're joking, that's an actual line, verbatim. Somehow Palpatine has returned.
And this motherfucker, like they put the image in all of our minds that he had sex with somebody. Like, come on, bro. Really? You really had to go there? Like, you went there. What do you mean? Like, it's it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Snoke, everything with Snoke. Leia was awful.
God. Oh my god.
They had a perfect out to just kill her in the Last Jedi, and they didn't do it. With what happened with Carrie Fisher, and
yeah,
it just the way they handled Kylo Ren was awful. The fake outs with Chewie were so stupid, and like it's just a terrible movie, dude. Like Rise of Skywalker.
Remember the Knights of Ren? Of course you don't, because we don't.
Oh,
Remember
I don't want to. I don't.
Oh,
I
we
just.
thought they
I
were
don't
so
know.
badass. You're like, oh my god, these guys are badass, and they all get killed in like 1 or 2 scenes.
No, and everything around that has completely killed any enthusiasm I have around Star Wars that I ever had. I was never a big Star Wars fan, to be frank. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I was never the kid who was like obsessed with the original trilogy. I didn't even watch the original trilogy until after the prequels came out. Like,
Yeah,
I wasn't. I was not a big Star Wars fan, to be honest. Like, so I'm not losing much personally by not being interested in it. It's just um Disney was probably the worst company imaginable that Lucas could have sold to, because they do what they do. They just run these things into the ground for money.
yeah. I
Um
mean, I agree with you, man. I don't know. I was the kid though. I wasn't super obsessed with it, but I mean, my mom was really into sci-fi, and then she got me into Star Wars, and I watched the original trilogy on videotape VHS,
yeah,
and then when the prequels came out, I was super excited to see that. And then I played Couture, and that's what really catapulted to me as a Star Wars fan was Couture.
yeah.
And then I started reading the books and everything like that in the comics. But yeah, just like you, um, this trilogy or this sequel trilogy has killed any inkling of Star Wars content. I don't care how good the content is. I just don't care. Like I just find myself not fucking caring anymore. I'm just like I don't care, man.
Well,
Like
I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with anything. I don't want anything to do with the timeline of the
they can't get away
Skywalker
from it though. They can't
movies.
get away
No,
from it. No.
I know, and they like. I don't know how many more stories they can shove into this small window of time. It's just like move the fuck on. Like that, dude. If the next trilogy that they do has like isn't 300 years in the future, I'm already out. I don't even
Bro,
care.
you already
Like,
know. You already know they're gonna somehow find the artifact of Vader in his
yeah,
helmet. Like you
yeah.
know it. They're gonna have to tie it back somehow.
Yeah,
That's why I love.
Ray Skywalker has started a Jedi Academy, and Finn's running around as like the epic bounty hunter of fucking. It's just like
Well,
they'll
that's
come up
why I
with some
love
dumb
Couture
shit.
so much, right? Couture was thousands of years in the past,
Yeah,
and it had nothing to do with
that's the
the
only thing I'll give a shot is if a KOTOR remake. That's the only thing I'll give a shot.
yeah.
Because it's interesting conceptually. It's actually like going to an interesting time period. It has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. It's like.
Exactly. Nothing to do with the Skywalkers. And I love it. I think that's why I honestly think as far as hardcore fan base, I think the bulk of like Star Wars fans just love Couture. Like we just
Yeah,
want Couture. That's all we want. And we're never going to get it at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Unfortunately. And even with this new one that just came out, what was it called? The Acolyte, right?
Oh yeah,
Um
yeah,
it's certain episodes like, and this is not a Star Wars issue, this is just like an issue in general with Hollywood. I think people need to go back to writing school. I don't know who's teaching these people how to write scripts and stories.
yeah,
Bro, it's bad. The only thing that's really good right now in my opinion is some of the Amazon shows like The Boys and
yeah.
Invincible and stuff like that. But a lot of these other stories, man, like I just don't know where you're doing with it. The Acolyte was such an interesting idea. Um, like the first Sith to come back, and it's like it's such a cool idea. I don't understand how you fuck it up. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, man. It was almost a Witcher situation where they just like intentionally fucked up the show for no fucking reason.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know,
That's
man.
annoying. Yeah. Well. Yep. We're probably not playing Star Wars Outlaws if you guys couldn't tell.
Yeah, yeah, man.
So we'll see how the game does, though. Certainly, we'll revisit that when it comes out. But that's it, Montreal. That's all we got this week.
All
Is there
right.
anything else you want to talk about before we get the hell out of here?
Nope. It looks like I'll save it for next week, but it looks like Tim. Let me look at his name again. I'm sorry. He just dropped some stuff on Twitter about Microsoft is or the FTC is going after Microsoft for their Game Pass.
Oh, for raising the price. I saw that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, we'll see if anything comes out.
I'm
of
sorry,
that.
Tom Warren. Yeah, Tom Warren.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
the Game Pass standard tier is a degraded product, and they're filing with the U.S. Court of Appeals and the Ninth Circuit. So
Interesting.
that's going to
Well,
be interesting. So
that will be interesting. All right. Well, fair enough. We'll see if anything comes out of that, and we'll cover it next week if there does. But Montrell, that's all we got today. So everybody, if you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, subscribe to the show, whatever feed you're listening to it on, and please subscribe to us on YouTube. That'll help us a lot over there. You can check the shows out on YouTube. And if you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrapForTheHokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. That'll be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.